Okay, let me go post the link now, because when I posted the link a minute ago, it just decided it wasn't actually going to use that link, and it just completely quit on me. So, see, it just kicked me again. Wow. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay. All right, come on. Come on, YouTube, stop being a pain here. I really, really, really need to. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right, I've got everything ready to go. So, as always, if you're here for the replay, just go ahead and fast forward. Probably going to be this. I'm going to speak into some things first. I'm just going to share a quick personal experience with everyone, and also the just some reminders of what this live is doing to support you in terms of meditation. So, if you're here on the replay, just go fast forward, look for the comment, but I would check for about like maybe 5 to 10 minutes in, and then I will be starting the meditation. So, for everyone that's dropping in, hello and welcome. My name is Aowasi, and I am bringing through a meditation today. This is a heart coherence / visualization meditation. It's supporting manifestation. I'm basically just offering the meditation that I do for myself every day, one that has actually been bringing forward some pretty amazing results. And I just felt called to invite everyone to join me in this if you feel so called. This is something that obviously, because it is a meditation, if you're driving or doing anything that requires your focus and your attention, please come back and watch the replay, because you definitely do not want to attempt to do those things while you are going through the process of a meditation. So as I'm going to give this a few more minutes to go ahead and go live, I want to just share something with you all and why the importance of this is, or what the importance of this is for me. So on my journey of self-development and learning how to identify, or learning how to embody a new identity, like many of you, I'm sure, I have taken in a lot of information on manifestation techniques. I've taken in a lot of information around identity and all the things in the self-development and spiritual field. The same things were always, there was like a top, so like the top 5 things that I always would hear about. But what's really interesting is if you're like me, when I was so stuck in this belief, in this pattern of identity, that I knew, like, it was almost like I had to do it my way. I had to prove that what I knew, what I was doing was right, and that, I would kind of sort of incorporate some other techniques, but I was really fixated on doing things my way. And that was coming from this identity that's really, really addicted to control. And everything in my reality has been set up to directly reflect that level of control. And although I used to meditate a lot, I got away from it because I started going into this belief that we don't really need to meditate. Like, I've gotten everything I need out of meditation. I'm doing walking meditations, so on and so forth. What I now understand about meditation is that the meditation I'm not getting anything from the meditation. It's not doing anything for me. It's an opportunity to be disciplined in presence and awareness and to be disciplined with my frequency. It's simply there for me to listen and to pay attention. And so, meditation for me has always been something I've avoided because I am someone that is always everywhere all at once. And I get hyper distracted and I want to run around and I want to do a million things. So, meditation was always this boring application, and my identity found a really clever way for me to avoid meditation by coining the belief that, well, you're already powerful enough, you're walking and meditating at the same time, you don't really need to slow down and meditate. As I've reconnected with God and as I'm coming back into bringing God into the central point of my personal universe instead of the things that I had a deep attachment to. It started with prayer, and then now from prayer, it's gone to meditation and back to meditation. So, as we go into this meditation, my intention for applying this meditation was visualization, these mind movies. So I've had two or three different things in my reality that have just been consistently looping. And there are these challenges, these lessons that I, obviously am still facing because I haven't mastered them. And the closer I am moving towards a shift in identity, the louder the noise is from my previous reality. And so the reason why this meditation is really powerful, or any meditation, is because it can calm me down. It doesn't calm me down, but I choose to bring myself into a parasympathetic state so that that noise can slowly disintegrate. The thoughts, the beliefs, the kickback from the identity is going to get louder the closer you get to an identity shift. And that's simply because your identity, the old identity, is your comfort blanket. It's your familiarity, and it's going to do everything it can to keep you in that zone of comfort. It just thinks it's protecting you. It thinks like this, obviously, this new identity is dangerous. It's not trustworthy. You haven't experienced it long enough. So, as I've been speaking into recently, and I will consistently revisit this because it's so important, in order for that new identity and that reality to be familiar, you have to practice it. You have to live it every single day as if you already are. And I know I heard that all the time. I mean, I've heard that for years now, and I've never actually truly, and I mean really, truly applied it. So what this process is doing is it's allowing me to become reconnected with my heart. Not that I'm disconnected, but I get to enhance that connection. And a lot of times I want to share this when it comes to an identity shift, and also too why meditation or prayer is so powerful, is because if you don't have the discipline to sit in silence, then your apologies on my internet, you guys, will be hyper fixated on accomplishing something and call that discipline. But in reality, what we're doing is we're obsessing over an outcome because we're in fear, we're in urgency, we're attempting so desperately to get something that we think we need because we're afraid that if we don't have it, we're not going to survive. And that's where I used to attempt to do my manifestations from. Obviously, I'm always manifesting, but I used to be coming from that specific place. You guys have heard me talk about Bruiser a lot. That's my dog. That's my soul dog. And as I was speaking about on Instagram earlier, I want to bring something forward here that's subtle but important. I used to hold so much shame around talking about Bruiser and my relationship to Bruiser because in my mind, the way the critic would say, those people don't care. That's not a person. That's a dog. Why would they give a shit about the relationship you have to your soul dog? Because that has nothing to do with the relationship to a person. But that critic is obviously not telling me the truth. It's lying to me. It's trying to keep me trapped in the state of judgment so that I won't share openly, so that I won't share honestly, so that I won't be visible, so that I just won't be seen. It's trying to keep me back here. Again, it's a protective mechanism. It's not trying to hurt me. It's simply saying that might not be a safe place for you to go. So as I'm speaking into this and I'm sharing all this, this vulnerability is about visibility and about silencing the inner critic. My relationship to Bruiser is no different than a relationship to a person. because our relationships are neurological representations of our inner world. I interact with him based on how my nervous system experiences the information it's receiving from my 3D world or from the field. So my senses are simply relaying that information, and it's passing through all the filters of belief that I carry, the meanings that I've assigned, and what I end up experiencing is the feel of his fur, the scent of his body, of his fur, hearing what I believe. If I hear him crying, I'm not just hearing that sound, I'm hearing what I think that sound means. When I'm petting his fur, I'm not just feeling the softness, I have a whole range of thoughts that pass through. If I feel a lump, what does that lump mean? Now I've assigned a meaning. Now I think something is wrong. Those are all representations of how a simple experience of the senses ties into the belief system of the nervous system. So you're never experiencing just the outer world. You're experiencing your inner world through the outer framework of the 3D. And therefore, what you're feeling, what you're hearing, what you're smelling, what you're tasting, it's a system of information that passes through a system of beliefs, and therefore you experience it accordingly. My relationship to Bruiser has been a large place of my own unworthiness, self-doubt, this place of fear. And so all of that was projected onto my relationship with him. My inability to slow down and look at my life and look at myself translated and transformed and not transformed, it translated into my obsession with him needing to be okay, him needing to be well, because I wasn't focused on my own inner wellness and my own inner state of stability and harmony. So now that I've begun doing that, as I mentioned, the lessons that I have not fully mastered with him are recurring, and they're loud, and they're intense, and they're chaotic. So any area that I have tagged as fearful is going to come back around. I'm sharing all of this with you guys because this is also what I've noticed by doing this daily application of meditation and visualization. Not saying it happens for everyone, but what I have received back from those in the field that I respect is this same message. So if you choose to start incorporating something like this every day, I just want you to have an awareness that what you have attached yourself to the most is also going to be one of the things that talks to you the loudest as you're transitioning identities. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean that you're falling back. It doesn't mean anything other than what you say it means. In the most simplistic, it just simply is a reflection of your choice. So use this as an opportunity to witness thoughts, feelings, emotions, and even if you find it difficult to focus, that's okay. Remember, meditation, you're not trying to get your desired reality out of this meditation. You're not getting anything from it. You're using it as a gateway to receive yourself with greater clarity, with greater intention, and with greater focus. The mind movies, because your nervous system does not know the difference between what's happening right now in your reality and what happens in the visualization, the more often you live your life through the visualization, the more swiftly it has an opportunity to appear. I'm not saying it absolutely will, because many of us, all of us, I would say, hold beliefs that directly refuse that reality. That's why identity shifting is a necessary part of this process. Your old identity is vibrating at a very specific frequency. And if that frequency is inherently accustomed and attuned to lack and scarcity and unworthiness and this entire judgmental critic about the self and others, if this identity you want to embody is so full of love and acceptance and cheers people on, like I used to be so offended by people that had a lot of money. When I would see millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires, people charging thousands and thousands of dollars for their offerings, I would get offended. As you guys have heard me mention, I would take that as an attack. It was like an attack, a personal affront on my sense of safety and self-worth. And what I realized and what I've really come to understand over the last year is that it was never what the money that these people had, it was never what they were asking. It was that I was in a state of lackady. I was in a state of scarcity and lack and self-sacrificial beliefs. I believed that I should just give everything away for free because that's going to help the most people. But I'm offering from a place that is so afraid of asking for money that that doesn't serve the collective. If the collective that exists in my reality is of my own making. I know that I hear this was my biggest misunderstanding in spiritual community or in the whole spiritual practice. I believed if I raised my frequency, I was going to somehow save the collective and help in the ascension and blah, 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 blah. First and foremost, and I'm not going to talk much longer, you guys just hang in there with me because what I'm sharing here is really important. It's everything that's led me to the meditation, okay? It's not that a raised frequency doesn't support collective consciousness. We are all in consciousness. But you will always only and ever vibrationally align yourself based on the frequency that you are most attuned. So even though there's a whole collective currency, a whole collective field, you will always link into the wave of currency that you are most attuned to. So I am going to interact with the collective that I am most accustomed to internally in terms of how I see the world and how I see myself. So if I'm carrying beliefs that relationships are bad, that certain people are bad if they have a certain amount of money, that government somehow controls my thoughts, which is a big whole thing about escaping the matrix. Your mind is a matrix. It's a pattern creating machine. It's a predictive machine. That's the matrix. You don't escape it. You learn to become the master within it. You learn to become, re-embrace, reconnect. Remember that you are the God within your own reality, an extension of the one God that is the creator of all. And if you want to embody and embrace that, you must first learn that you're not doing it for everyone out there. You're doing it for the purpose of your soul, for the purpose of your spirit. You're doing it for you because you have a very specific path. If you make it about what you're doing for everyone out there, you're going to lose sight really quickly of who you are, not because they are influencing you, because you're allowing the influence of the collective to direct your path. That becomes your focus, right? Just like I mentioned, Bruiser has been my central sun, if you will. Then the need to serve the collective becomes your central sun. It was for me as well. Everything revolved around my service and how I could help people. And I was absolutely in a very, very deeply embedded lack and scarcity mindset. Now it's completely different. In the past year, now I look at millionaires and billionaires and I'm like, yes, what are you doing? What is it? How can I learn from you? What steps have you taken to maintain that frequency? I'm not saying that everyone that amasses that amount of wealth is happy, but I'm not everyone else. And I'm not pretending to be like everyone else anymore. So my goal is to experience the most fantastical version of reality possible. And if I limit myself to money, if I say, well, it's offensive that people have that much money, I'm automatically cutting myself off from that level of experience. I'm just saying that's not for me. Money's bad. It's evil. Those people are bad. They don't help others. They have all this money and they're not helping the collective. But the truth is that you would never know the level of help that they are investing because you're already coming from a vantage point that they are wrong and bad. So, and again, it's not even really about that because to have that level of wealth, like you've heard me say many times, they've already figured out a solution to a problem that the collective was requesting on some level, which means they've already put the effort, the work, the time, the energy, the creative aspect into the collective, and they're receiving back on it. You have to put it out first before it comes back, you guys. We know that. So for me, what this consistent dedication has been about is about two main things. Number one, shifting my identity around money and shifting how I approach my relationship with Bruiser, because that's been my child, my fur baby. And watching him suffer because of such extreme fear was breaking my heart. Thunder, gunshots, fireworks, the baby he's in such terror and he pees on himself. And to me, that's been unacceptable. So initially I set off on this, like I'm sure many might, and it was about trying to fix what was happening with him. What I've learned from that is I can't approach it from that way. If you're manifesting a specific person, if you're trying to manifest a relationship or anything in that regard, what I would recommend is don't make it about the other person, because then then it's this expectation of this person showing up differently. And that's exactly how it was for me. I was going into the meditation, into the prayer, just doing my best to avoid what I was seeing in him and doing my best to try to escape the discomfort that I felt in my body when I saw him going through so much terror. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to feel it. I didn't want to experience it. I didn't want to live that anymore. And so I was trying to escape the sensation and the feeling, and I never could. It's always going to come back around because I'm avoiding it. I'm not leaning into it and facing it. So what I'm going to say here is, as you choose to practice this, you're not doing it to escape. This is not some elevated spiritual avoidance. This is you sitting with yourself, listening to yourself, feeling what comes forward, and taking the opportunity to be with those parts of yourself that you would normally avoid, where you would normally go to your phone and you would scroll, or you would get on a phone with a friend, or you would reach out to a partner or an ex-partner or a hopeful partner or whatever it is, or maybe you go and you spend money just all to avoid feeling uncomfortable. This process is not about that. It's about embracing that, because I can tell you right now, that's what I've been doing for years, is I've been running from the discomfort. I did not like seeing it happen, and I just wanted it to stop. I just wanted those parts of my life to no longer be that way. And so every step I was taking was coming from force and control and just trying so desperately to change my life. I had not fully embraced my life as it was or as it is. And that has been the biggest key in opening and unlocking the gateway to this new identity. I had to fall in love with everything as it is. Nothing new can ever appear if we're still battling the old, because then we're just saying, I haven't learned the lesson. I haven't learned the lesson of love. I'm waiting for something good to happen, right? I'm waiting for something good to happen so that I can feel good. I'm waiting for someone to appear so that I can feel love, right? I'm waiting for my SP. I'm waiting for my soulmate. I'm waiting for my twin flame. And that's a very limited, it's a very limited place to be, because that's not only saying that you're waiting for one person and that's the only person you can experience love with. That's just denying everyone else that's in your path along the way, that's showing you how to better understand the embodiment of love and acceptance, because every person you cross paths with is an opportunity to practice love, not just one person. Okay. So this is where I am. And my internal state has shifted to such a degree where when I wake up, I'm just happy. I'm like, how can I help my mom? How can I help my dad? I feel good. I feel great. I want to help. I want to do things. I want to show up. I want to share. I want to speak. I want to be seen. I want to be visible. I'm not trying to perfect anything. I'm not in that, at least for right now, I'm not in that perfectionism state. I'm not speaking as if I'm not going to go there again. But for right now, where I am is at peace. So what I'm going to invite you now is to step into this meditation with me. And as I did this the other day with a former client and a dear friend of mine, the transformation that took place in less than 48 hours was very tangible. So as you guys know, just last sentence here, I've been facing those challenges with Bruiser out of the fear. He wasn't going outside, and I made a post about this where he was peeing on himself, and I was in this state of fear and desperation, and just this, my belief, my this critic, this protector was saying he's going to die because he's not coming out of your room and you can't get him outside. I want to share with you just really quickly the limitations that are coming from that way of thinking. The way I was seeing it, because I'm so attached to control in that identity, I'm so attached to doing things a certain way, I'm so attached to making sure that things happen a certain way. I only see that as the solution. I wasn't seeing other solutions. And so as I started to take a step back, it wasn't that I needed him to go outside so that he would be okay. It was that I needed to be the frequency of peace. I needed to be the space that he felt safe so that he can use the bathroom inside. Why can't he? They have things for that, right? Puppy pads, he's never done that in his whole life, but he's never been punished. There's never been anything, there's no evidence that he should fear it other than me. So I got puppy pads, I got diapers, all these things, and I set it up for him, and I showed him like it's okay. When he would pee on himself, I would say that's okay, that's a good boy, that's okay, letting him see that there was nothing to be afraid of. So over the last week, he started to get used to like, okay, well, I'm afraid to go outside, but I have another option, I can go inside. And so when he needed to, he would go inside. So then he started feeling, because he was not only afraid to go outside, he was afraid of being punished for going to the bathroom inside. He was also, I was in fear for him, and he was feeding off of that fear that I was transmitting. So there was just a whole collage of entanglement. So as I took a step back and I just stopped about what was happening, I started approaching it differently. Okay, here's some puppy pads, here's some diapers, we got this, we're gonna make it through. And everything started to relax. And he started going to the bathroom inside, which released that fear. He saw he wasn't going to get punished, released that fear. Now it's just getting back outside. And in the last 48 hours, it's just all of a sudden back to the door, back outside multiple times a day. He's outside playing, he's having fun, which is a completely different behavioral representation of him that has been present. He has not been in that behavior for the last month or two. This is completely different behavior. So that transmission of safety, that me not worrying about what he's doing, me not urgently trying to get him to do something, that's not only having to do with him, it has to do with me. Because instead of me seeing what's wrong, I'm seeing, okay, how can I approach this? What is it within me that is pulling me back here? So you could be having these experiences in relation to money, in relation to a partner, like I said, anything. Pay attention to why you keep revisiting the same thing. There is an emotional entanglement, and usually it's multi-layered. Again, in this instance, it was very much multi-layered. So as you start to peel back those layers, each and every approach has to be about acceptance. Your reality right here, right now, is already in the past. So it doesn't matter what's happening right here. It matters what's happening in here. And I know we hear that all time, but it's so important to reemphasize that, because it is exactly what's going to magnetize this new reality and identity to you. I have to behave differently, right? If he was really existing in the reality that I desire, I wouldn't even be thinking about whether or not he needs to go outside. I wouldn't be thinking about what I needed to do for the next paycheck. I wouldn't be thinking about what my next offering needs to look like so I can make money. I would already be living from that state. And that's exactly where I'm living from now. So, okay. Now let's step into the meditation, you guys. Thank you for allowing me to share. Thank you for allowing me to speak into this. Again, as I said, it's so important to acknowledge these parts of ourselves and have a better understanding of what's happening and why. Yeah. So I prepare to begin here. What I will invite in is I would take a few seconds and bring an intention forward. What area of your life is standing out to you the most right now? What do you feel the most challenged by? Is it money, relationships, parents, location? Like, what area of your life or do you really feel like you're struggling in? Maybe it's just self-worth. Maybe it's your body. Maybe it's health. Whatever it is, bring that intention or that focal point forward, because wherever your attention goes, wherever your awareness flows, that's where reality follows. As you're bringing that forward, again, I want to reemphasize that this takes daily dedication. I meditate now and I do visualization or the mind movies now multiple times a day. And it has significantly made a difference in my life. But not just that, all the things I share here in terms of identity shifting, learning to be in love with your life right now. So this is not to try and force your reality to change. This is just simply you playing with what a different version of your reality would look like. No attachment, no expectation, okay? I'm also going to offer some tones through this. The toning is to allow sound to enter in from different places, different parts of the body as I'm pulling the sound up from different parts of the body. And it will be interacting with you through the field based on the areas where you are carrying the most unmetabolized emotional toxicity. So emotions that are not metabolized get stuck in the body and they are carried in the areas that are most closely connected to the trauma or the the moment of emotional impact. So those tones are going to assist you and support you by allowing you to experience the sound just as a wavelength moving through, and it's going to open the body and the area that needs it the most. And now that you have that area of you, that area of your life that you would like to focus on, I would invite you to go ahead and begin taking some deep breaths. Really allowing your body to pull the breath up from the belly, coming all the way up to the crown, and exhale for longer than you inhale. So inhale for 4, exhale for 6. And I highly recommend making the sound, letting your body get the sound out. And if you feel antsy, stand up, shake your body, tap it out, break up the lymph nodes, get the energy moving. Do whatever you need to do to get any excess energy out that is creating the sense of fidgetiness, or like I need to look at the screen and I need to see what's going on, because you'll want your eyes to be closed the entire time so that you can carry the vision right where your eyes are projecting from. And you don't have to see it exactly. You know what the vision is, even if like I don't see an image, but I know what that image represents for me because I just know what it looks like. So you don't have to see anything perfectly, and it's not about getting it perfect. It's not about not having distractions. It's just about learning to be in the presence of your own awareness as all of that's happening. So taking some more deep breaths. And with each breath, just noticing how your eyelids get a little bit heavier. Your eyelids are getting heavier and heavier. Just feeling your body as it's beginning to relax. And just doing a scan of your body, acknowledging any areas of tension, any areas where pain resides. And just breathing into those areas and feeling yourself gently wrap those areas in love and acceptance. Allowing each of those areas to find the state of relaxation that is possible for them. And with each breath, I would also invite you to simply just be aware of the sounds of your environment. Like for me, I hear a fan, I hear the birds chirping outside. I can feel the weight of the seat beneath me. This is just allowing my senses to interact with the information of the field, which is playing a role in this meditation. So, seeing what you can sense in your environment, what sounds, what textures, allowing your senses to relay that information to you now. And just allowing yourself to relax deeper and further, acknowledging here that you have nothing to do. There is no right or wrong. You're simply just playing in the field of creation. Breath, I'm going to invite you to bring your awareness to the heart. And again, since your senses are playing a role in this, I would invite you to place a hand on your heart or both hands on your heart. I have one on my heart and one on my womb. Wherever my hand is, my awareness, my attention, and my sensory perception go. So this will assist you in connecting. Just feeling the connection you hold to your body and to the heart. Feeling the warmth of your hand on your skin or feeling the warmth through your clothing, the sensation of the fabric or the sensation of your skin. And just taking a few moments to be with that sensation, just really bringing your awareness to that sensation. What does the texture feel like? Is it soft? Is it coarse? How much of that sensation, how much of that fabric can you pull in through your senses? Can you notice slight variations in temperature? And with each breath, noticing your awareness expanding through your senses. You're moving. You're no longer just in a body, you're experiencing a body. You are the senses, and you're simply exploring this thing we call a body. And see what other sensations you can connect to. Tingling, expansion, heat rising, pressure, numbness, just seeing what sensations are present. And as you are listening to the sound of my voice, I'm going to invite you to feel how the sound moves through your ears and into your body. Allowing the sound to find you like a song or a river, and it just washes over you or moves through you. The vibration, actively and yet subtly supporting you for the highest good. And noticing that your body is getting heavier and heavier as you are becoming nothing. Bringing your awareness deeper into the heart. Seeing how far you can expand your awareness outside the body. Entering into the void of nothingness, where you are simply just sensory perception. Your eyelids are heavy. Your body is heavy and light simultaneously. The focal point is the heart and how the heart is expanding. And now I'm going to invite you, as you're exploring the expansion of the heart, to gently begin to trace a line from your heart to the center of your head. Just with your eyes and with your awareness, gently tracing this heart line from the front of your chest to the center of your head. Tracing it up to your head and back down to your heart. Up to your head and back down to your heart. And feeling your heart opening even more. At this point, my heart field is so strong that my arms actually start to feel like they're anti-gravity. It's antimatter. So my arms are actually moving up on their own, and there's no weight to my arms right now. Everything begins pulling up and moving against gravity. Tracing that line, allowing there to be a synchronization of the neurons. And just taking a few moments here to explore that line and the heart. With each breath, breathing into the heart, expanding the space. And as each of you are doing this, I'm going to invite you to imagine that there is a line that is connecting you to me and me to you. And it's from heart to heart. You don't need to see me or my image. Imagine that every single time you hear my voice is that connection to your heart. We are sinking vibrationally into the currency of love, expanding the field, enhancing the coherence. And what I love to practice at this point is I'm going to invite you to bring a memory forward, something recent, something from the past, a moment where you just felt so happy, so much joy. It could have been reading a comment from a friend. Maybe you were on a phone conversation, or you watched a video on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, or if you're like me this morning, I was running around in the yard with Bruiser as he was chasing lizards. So much fun, so much joy, so simple, and yet so profound. So as you're in this place of heart coherence, bring that memory forward. Immerse yourself. Environment are you in that memory? For me, I was outside. I can hear the birds. I can feel the heat on my skin. I can smell the dirt. I can hear myself talking to Bruiser. Connect your senses to the memory and allow that emotion to fill you up. And maybe if you can even remember what you were wearing. If you were on the phone, the texture of the phone, how it feels under your fingers. Again, connect your senses to the experience. And allow that joy, that laughter, and that happiness to fill you up. And as you're doing that, happening in your body, notice the sensations and any subtle variations that are taking place. And we're going to take a few more moments here with that memory, and then we're going to move on. But I'm just inviting you here to really embrace that joy, to find yourself holding that feeling. And if you can, let it carry you into the love of the moment. And before we transition, I'm going to offer some toning here. Again, I'm going to invite you to receive the tone as if your heart and your senses is pulling the sound into your body, allowing the sound to move through you and explore your nervous system, opening any areas where emotions are stuck. You may also hum or om with me. That would really support your nervous system. Just noticing what that sound does in your body. For me, the heart's opening. I'm feeling a line coming down from my crown, expanding my chest. Almost like a suctioning is happening in between my shoulder blades. Clear stuck energy of the heart field. Popping my back. Your tone, your sound will always support you to the highest degree. Allowing those areas to open. Yeah. Okay, that one's coming from lower down. That's more solar plexus sacral opening. Okay, now we've made room. And as you have the connection to the joy and the love from that memory, and now we've opened the body even more, the nervous system even more. I'm going to invite you back to your intention, that area of your life that you desire to experience differently. Take a moment and connect to the version of you that's already living that desire out. And I want you to bring that version of you forward from that joyful place, or even just a peaceful place. It doesn't necessarily have to be joy. You've already found the joy. Just from acceptance and peace. And again, involve your senses. What are you wearing? What does the environment look like? Who are you talking to? If it's about money, what's in your bank account? Check the app on your phone in this mental mind movie and see the money. See how much money you have. If it's about health, find that place within you that understands the discipline. You know what it feels like to be healthy. What does she look like? What does he look like? What does their discipline look like? If they're in the gym, hold that vision. If they're working out at home, if they're walking, if they're swimming, hold that vision and bring the senses into it. Feel the pavement beneath your feet. Feel the weights in your hand. Feel the sweat running down your face. You know what that feels like. See yourself cooking the meal, the healthy meal. See yourself living out the day and the version of you that has everything you desire. What are you doing? And as you are bringing this vision forward, I'm going to offer some tones to support the nervous system in receiving the vision. And just see yourself like a movie, as if you were watching this on TV or on your phone or on your computer. You're enjoying it. You're just watching the movie play out. No attachment, but a natural interest in this person's life. If someone else was coming in to live your life right now, they wouldn't have the cares, the worries you do. See yourself being that stranger, but someone that you also recognize and that you know, that familiarity. And as you're holding the vision, just feel the peace. Feel how easy everything is. So easy. You've done this before. You don't have to try. It's your normal life. You've already lived it. You lived it yesterday. You lived it a week ago. It's so easy. And as you're watching yourself in this movie of your life, as you're observing it, as you're feeling yourself immersed in it, remember the ease, just as easy as it was for you to remember that memory of joy. You've already lived this life, the life that you desire. You're just remembering. And as you hold that vision in the forefront, in the middle of your mind, I want you to slowly feel yourself pulling that vision down to your heart, following the same pathway as you were tracing earlier. Just feel yourself gently guiding it into your heart. And as you bring the image into your heart, you hold it there. Just hold that image in appreciation. Appreciation for how easy it is. Of course you're rich. Of course you're healthy. Of course you have the life that you desire. Of course you do. I mean, you're already living it. Of course you do. It's so easy. And as I go into these next tones, feel yourself handing that image over to the field. Just like you're giving a gift to someone, you're placing it into the field and you're letting it go. Allow frequencies to carry the image forward into the field and letting it go. It is done. And now bringing your awareness gently back to your body. Bringing your senses back to your fingers, rubbing your fingers together. Bringing your awareness back to your eyes. Grounding yourself into your body. If your feet are on the floor, just feeling the feet, or feeling your feet touching the floor, feeling the floor beneath your feet. feeling the seat beneath your bottom. And feeling the breath, the heartbeat, and gently beginning to bring your awareness fully into eyes open when you're ready. Maybe massaging, crown, allowing any energy that needs to move from these areas of transition to open up. And doing a big stretch. So, I thank you so much for being here and for receiving this transmission. I thank you so much for joining me in this meditation and for choosing to accompany me in this experience. I would love for anyone that is watching this on the replay to drop your experience in, to let me know how this was for you. And if anything stood out to you during our time together, whether it was prior to the meditation or during the meditation. For me, my body feels like I could float away right now. It feels so light, so open, almost porous, like things are just moving through. And how I experience this is I've opened my body up, and now the reality will start layering itself in. And every response I have today is an anchor into that vision. So you guys remember that. You've held the vision, you've explored the movie in your mind, you've connected to the emotion. Now go through your day living from the response as if it's already done. You don't have, it's not that you don't put effort in the 3D. It's that you don't go chasing what you need to do in the 3D. Everything will come as you intend it to. Thank you all for receiving. This has been such a joy. I have been considering bringing something like this through every day. If you guys enjoyed this meditation, let me know. If you would like to join me for, I don't know, a 7-day challenge or a 3-day challenge, we can do some weekly meditations and enhance our manifestations by connecting on the heart field and allowing that coherence to elevate our experience together. That way we're all in the same currency and we're all moving like a school of fish downstream towards our desire. So if you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for the next live. Thank you all. Until next time.